Wisp Sports Radio, the voice of women in sport.
Thank you for listening to Season 1, Episode 4 of Bit by Bit on Wisp Sports, a mental skills podcast for athletes where you'll learn how to level up your mental game. Hey, welcome back to Bit by Bit with me, Erin McGuire. I'm your personal trainer for your mind, helping you to change your thinking to be more effective and efficient so you can punt your nerves and hit the field ready to go. Last time we chatted about goal setting, specifically SMART goal setting. Goals come in all shapes and sizes. You can have performance goals, the process. You can have result goals, the outcome. Short-term goals that take days, weeks, months to achieve. Long-term, months to years to achieve. Big pipe dream goals, lifetime achievement goals, and little itty-bitty stepping stone goals that set you up for your bigger goals. All goals can benefit from the SMART goal setting model. SMART is an acronym: specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. Your SMART goals will serve as stepping stones and motivation in your pursuit of excellence. Today, we're putting our thought replacement strategies into action. Thus far, we've chatted about awareness. What are you thinking about? Are your thoughts neat and organized, or are they akin to herding cats, chaotic and spiraling with limited control? From there, we set parameters. First off, think do statements such as guard up instead of don't drop your guard in a martial arts setting, or hit straight in the fairway instead of don't hit the ball in the water for a golfer. We then broke down control. The not so secret was that you can, C-A-N, control yourself. You cannot control anything else. So instead of thinking, I must please my coach, I'll try my best. Or instead of, this rain is so gross for an outdoor sport, try thinking, I can be successful in the rain. I am choosing to compete today. Today, we take these replacement strategies to introduce positive self-talk. Self-talk is the inner monologue in your head. Fun fact, it's estimated that humans have between 60 and 80,000 thoughts a day. Self-talk can be said aloud, sure, but it's most often occurring within the confines of your headspace. The thing about self-talk is that you are your own coach 24/7. You have limited interactions with your coach, your family, friends, competitors, but your inner monologue runs around the clock. Self-talk can range from a single cue, such as look, to a phrase, look up, to a full sentence, look up at the ball. Self-talk can be instructional, point your toes, or motivational, you can do this. Within the instructional and motivational sectors, you can also have negative self-talk, such as don't mess up, or you can't do this. How an athlete talks to themselves plays a key role in their success on and off the field. Positive self-talk has been linked to increased self-confidence and overall emotional well-being. Negative self-talk gives insight to self-depreciating tendencies, decreased motivation, and negative emotional consequences. When presenting this material to clients, I ask them to think of their very best friend. I then present a scenario where, after a disappointing athletic performance, the so-called best friend starts berating my client, saying that they're an awful athlete, that they should just quit, that they disappoint their trainer, they waste their money, that they're just a failure. My client's usually quiet for a moment before saying, I don't think I would be friends with that person anymore. Indeed. I then ask my client, how do you talk to yourself when you make a mistake? How do you talk to yourself when you shine? The responses range from a sheepish grin to a mind-blowing stare, but the gist is usually, I'm hard on myself.
I'm Megan Kahn, host of the We Coach podcast. Every 2 weeks, I chat with female coaches, administrators, or industry experts from a variety of sports across the country. Be sure to tune in every other Thursday on your favorite podcast player for inspiring conversations. I'll see you there.
Now, it's a common misconception to think that being hard on oneself is actually getting them ahead. Sure, in some anomaly cases, an extremely resilient athlete will thrive off of dissatisfaction cues. Very limited dissatisfaction cues, sprinkling on top of dissatisfaction cues, just for the extremely resilient athlete. But the vast majority of athletes need positive self-talk, if not majorly, mostly entirely, to stay afloat when their ship is sinking. Or when they're thriving. Positive self-talk fits the bill. So let's look at this real time. A softball player is on her second strike. She could have a wide array of thoughts racing through her head. Maybe she's thinking, don't strike out. Or, you're a failure. Maybe she's thinking, swing. Or, you've got this. This athlete cannot control her outcome, but she can control her headspace. Though it will not guarantee her desired result, positive self-talk will keep her confidence in the game and ground her in the moment. A golf player is uncharacteristically triple bogey on the 5th hole of the course. She still has 13 more to go. She could get down on herself saying, this is going terrible, stop messing up. She could have real talk with herself. Get it together, you can do better. Or she could positively coach herself. Deep breath, swing. Now notice, both the softball player and the golfer use the cue swing. But swing looks different for a softball player than it looks for a golfer. That's an important characteristic of self-talk, that the cues are unique to your performance. The cues mean something to you. So the softball player may think, release through my hips and rotate towards the ball, where the golf player might have a completely different swing. It's coming from the ground up. A triathlete is fatiguing at the end of a grueling race. She thinks, finish line. Even though her lungs are screaming and her legs beg for a break, she thinks, finish strong. A figure skater has just put in her best performance to date. She is awarded with massive scores, her personal best scores, and is in contention for the gold medal. Win or lose, regardless of her outcome, this skater thinks, I did it, and celebrates her personal victory. Athletes need to be aware of their self-talk at all times. Leading up to game time sets the stage for their performance. In the moment, keeps their state of flow. Post-competition connects the dots to next time. They should be mindful of what they can and cannot control, keeping their focus on what is within their control and coaching themselves accordingly. They should remain positive, coaching themselves positively, instructionally, and with motivational cues. A final thought on self-talk. When introducing self-talk to my clients, I like to remind my athletes of their work thus far. I ask them, how many years have you been doing your sport? Okay, how many days? How many hours have you practiced? The number is staggering, even for my most novice athletes. The series of questions then splits off into individual sports. So for a gymnast, how many beam series have you practiced? For a basketball player, how many free throws have you drilled? For an equestrian, how many jumps have you jumped on your horse? For a cyclist, how many miles have you logged on your bike? Athletes, you've earned the right to trust in your practice. No one can take that away from you. Episode 4 of Bit by Bit, self-talk. Are you psyched up or psyched out? What you say to yourself matters. You wouldn't be friends with a friend who constantly tore you down. Don't be that friend to yourself. Coach yourself using positive instructional and motivational cues. An occasional dissatisfaction cue may ignite a particularly resilient athlete, but the overwhelming majority of self-talk should be positive to foster self-confidence and emotional well-being.
Conversations from the world of women's sports. This is Wisp Sports Radio.
I hope you enjoyed this episode of Bit by Bit, and I'd love for you to join in the conversation. You can check in on social media at Wisp Sports. You can also find me at Remarkable Athletics, Remarkable with a Q, on Instagram, or Remarkable Athletic Solutions LLC on Facebook. Any feedback or suggestions for future episodes can be emailed to info@wispsports.com. Next week, we will put our thought replacement strategies and positive self-talk to the test by tackling visualization. Until then, thanks for listening to Season 1, Episode 4 of Bit by Bit with me, Erin McGuire. Remember to subscribe to Wisp Sports to keep up with future episodes and help us turn up the volume on women's sports. I'll see you next time.